Internal Guidance, and Aster speaks on oneness and separation. February 16, 2015. Hello to my Internal Guidance crew. I feel today like I'm back in the stadium again with so many in attendance. So, is there any being among you that would step forward to speak with me today? Please let me know who you are and why you come forward before we begin. Group voice. We would come forward first as a whole to share that we attend you in this way at all times. There are indeed many in attendance to you, and we do this in agreement with you as well. It is with your express permission that we are with you, as has always been the case, though you've not always been expansive enough in your awareness to remember this facet of our intimate relations. Yes, I sense now that this is so. I used to wonder at how there could be this feeling of being watched and supported, particularly in times of danger. At one time this was such an utter surprise as to be nearly unbelievable to me, but I now see that this was my own illusion of separation at play. Group voice. We commend you on the work you've done, which enables you to begin to take in a broader view. This makes it possible for you to embody more of our presence in your life and in your awareness. This wasn't possible before, as you didn't believe it was possible. So long as you remained attached to the concept of being separated from all things, we honored this by staying submerged in your consciousness. I begin to get how this works. The more expansive my view of who I am gets, the more I release the beliefs that bind me to separation from everything, the more I'm perceiving and understanding and feeling the connections that are. How incredible! How real! The perception of what is real is so very different now. It's become difficult to believe I ever had such a contracted way of perceiving myself and my surroundings. Group voice. And yet, this was only a flicker of your creative imagination in our perception, a necessity for you to understand that consciousness goes powerfully and creatively, by the nature of your divinity as a being, to whatever space, realm, or time you send it to. Since you're in the realm of collective creation on Gaia, you also swim in the collective creations of the many in attendance in form. You came into form equipped with, not only the senses you would consider to be normal or mundane, but also with powerful and sensitive senses you're only now beginning to become aware of as well. The nature of humankind is so far beyond what has been acknowledged at this time that the explosion of what is to be regarded as normal for the average person will soon be an entirely different story from the one told among you at this time. We would go on to say that the nature of all forms on Gaia are expanding in consciousness in tandem with, and in alignment with, this rising awareness in the human community. This goes along with a dream I had recently about meeting a whole branch of my family I never knew existed. I had a wonderful experience with so many cousins of mine. It was exciting to know they were related and to get a chance to know and love them. Aster. And so it is, my sister self. In the broader sense, we are related to all forms. It's only the illusion of separation that keeps us from this reality, and from the love that binds us all together as one. Yes, we are experiencing our uniqueness, our point of perception is individual and as such, original and different than others, but without the remembrance of our relatedness we lose the important knowing of how connected we truly are. In all things, the basic principle that allows us to commune with one another is the understanding of our relatedness. The breakdown in the heart of this communion, the roots of separation, are coming from the separation of self that's been going on for so long in the collective heart and soul of humanity. The entry point of consciousness to the one, to communion with and the ability to connect to everything else, is in the heart and the core of the being itself. The whole illusion of separation, that of being unrelated to all that exists, is the root of all the storylines that vie to create reasons for more pain and fear, which create nothing more than more separation. If there is a severance in this connection to the heart of the self, then all other beings are experienced as either not there, as in the case of the non-human kingdoms of Gaia being experienced as not conscious, or as being so separated from self as to have the experience of being alone and abandoned. with the healing of the perceived wounds which create reasons for this belief in separation that, in fact, not only doesn't exist, but never could exist, there will be the experience for all of true communion with all forms. Taking this further into expansion, there will be communion for all with that is not in form as well. Just like separation never could actually exist, so it is that the wounding never existed either. This would be consistent with my experience as well. Thank you. And, yes, this would be what we're doing now, wouldn't it, communing from what isn't in form to what is. Since you all aren't in form and I am, that is. Aster. You might be surprised to know that many of us in attendance to you at this time are in form. The forms we take are varied, and the density of such forms are also expressed in the broadest expressions you may imagine, but most of us are nevertheless in some sort of form in our expressions. Our access to source information is broader than yours is at this time, but this is only a matter of where we are in terms of our ability to hold the space for this to be experienced. Our ability to hold expansive space is also enhanced by our numbers. As a group, we're sharing our access to source and to perception among us, and so the filters in place for individuated points of perception are therefore reduced. We are in recognition of our relation to one another through the One, through Source. We share this in our consciousness in an aware way, and we together form a greater field of conscious awareness. This is the journey all consciousness is taking. It is the nature of our return to oneness and to Source. It's a far cry from where most of my peers and I are at right now, but I have to say that there are beginning to be circumstances where there seems to be a group mind and even emotion at play. There is some evidence for me to say I notice this more and more frequently now than ever before. Noticing this evidence used to be a rarity, but now it's rather frequent. Aster. This will accelerate until all will know when one knows. This is the same as we know when you know, and this reality is one which will be revealing itself to you and to those who are open to this in a greatly accelerated way from this moment forward. The energy of this has been building for some time and will eventually spread among the whole population on planet Gaia. How this is perceived by individuated points of perception, or if you will, by different people, will vary greatly, as the attachment to what isn't real is replaced by what is real. What isn't real from our view is all the separation beliefs held in the collective mind and heart of humanity, and all the attachment to whatever has occurred in all time and space as reasons for this separation to exist as well. Still, this is an awareness that will grow among you, and it isn't our place to insist you come to this awareness until you're ready to do so. We see that this will take place in divine timing as it is agreed to in the core of each heart. We honor this and we attend you in solidarity and devotion until we may meet in form with you as your extended family once again. Farewell, dear sister, and farewell on your journey home. Channeled by Andrea Scully. AndreaStarOO.com